Hello everyone and welcome to the April Member Make, and welcome to all the new people who just finished their Crepe Paper Masterclass and are joining us for the first time. And then we do have some people who've been here for pretty much all of them, and we welcome you too. So today we are going to have a little giveaway, and the question that we are going to ask you, you can go ahead and put a capital Q and put your answer in, then Anna can scan through and we can do a drawing with all of those, is what is your favorite Mother's Day craft? So whether you're a mother or you had a mother or you have one, do you do something fun for Mother's Day? So go ahead and answer that question. And we have our new mother here.
Yeah.
And our old mother here. Anyhow, okay, so we're going to do that. Anna, is there anything else we need to announce, or are we good to go?
No, but it's really fun to see so many people joining us today.
Yeah, this is a good one. I love the big Gerber daisies.
Yeah, it's a fun flower, and it comes in so many colors. So
and you can pretty much make it out of any color.
Experiment with whatever colors you like. But we'll start with telling you what colors we're using for our flowers today. So the flower I'm going to be making is using the, let's see, got a chart, the template. I'm going to be using the strawberry and tulip double-sided for my flower, and then Emily is using the apricot and light rose, and then Leah is using what I thought was white and vanilla, but it is actually blush and chiffon.
Sure.
Is that what the double-sided is called?
It just got a little fixed. But as we like to say, you can use any color, so it really doesn't matter.
Yep.
So here's the finished flowers right there.
Yeah.
We did
such a good job.
I know. Okay, we're done. Have a good day. No, I'm kidding. No, we have to make this. All right.
So those are the double-sided colors we're using. For the other bits, for our green, we're using cypress, and then double-sided in the ferns and moss for the leaves. For the centers, you have a couple options. You can play around with those colors as well, but we're using the extra fine fern for the very center of our flowers. And then for that outside bit, we've used the heavy nectarine and then the linen. If you didn't get the heavy nectarine, you can use chiffon, which is what Leah's using. And if you want to make it closer to the nectarine color, you can color whatever color crepe paper you're using with a yellow marker. And I would suggest like more of a golden yellow, so this is the saffron color, which will turn out to be about the same color as that nectarine.
So many options.
Yeah. I think that's it for our colors. Let's see, and tools wise, we're going to be using our art glitter glue, so just a white glue. We'll be using hot glue briefly just for one step. Floral tape. You're going to need your detail scissors for this project. There's going to be a lot of fringing. It's very important. Your curling tool and some wire cutters, which I know there's one over there. Yep. Okay. We just need it also briefly as well. We're going to use the thick stem wire for our stem, and then the 24 gauge wire for our leaves.
All right.
Yeah, so we will start out with our fern pieces, which is stamen A.
And there's two of them.
Yep, and you should have two of these, and we are going to fully stretch them.
It's so satisfying.
Yeah. Fully stretch them, and then you're going to fold them in half against the grain.
Extra long hot dog style.
Yes, extra long hot dog.
So just curious, is there a reason why we would use extra fine rather than heavy crepe paper for this?
You could use heavy crepe paper for this. There isn't necessarily a reason. You would also stretch out. That's why it doesn't really matter that this nectarine piece is heavy. It was just the right color.
Gotcha. Okay.
Once you stretch it out, it's
not quite as
similar.
Thin as this, but
yeah, it's not quite as thin as this, but it's very similar. So I really don't think it makes a huge difference.
Good to know. Okay. Yeah. So the whole center section could be
All heavy. if
all
you
heavy or
wanna-
all extra fine. Probably
Yeah.
not double-sided.
Not double-sided,
No.
no. Double-sided doesn't have as much stretch, so. Alright, so after you've folded these, you're gonna take your glue and just run a very small line of glue around just that one of the bottom edges so that you can glue these in half. But you only want to apply glue to the very close to the edge here. We don't want to get it up towards that center fold at all. Don't clog on me.
Could you move some of the things so I can see what you're... Oh,
Yes.
Like maybe the water
Sorry.
too?
Oh.
That's all right.
Is that helpful?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna need that template later.
So we're gluing the edge, and I'm curious to see what you're doing. You're just closing it?
Yes, so
Okay.
we're gonna fold it in half. This is just so that when we go to wrap this around the center, it's not moving all over the place.
Okay. Have a brand new glue bottle.
Was glue
Did you
Christmas.
take the
Oh, is there
off?
some- oh, probably not.
cover?
Nope.
All right. So yeah, I imagine you'd have to be pretty careful with that glue application so it doesn't get
Yes.
soggy.
Yeah, you don't want it to get soggy. So having this really fine tip on our glues is very helpful right now.
I think I already got a little bit too much, so I need to back off on my squeeze.
Yes, very light application. You could even just do like a bunch of little tiny dots if you wanted to.
Yeah, that's an idea. Also, just to remind everybody, we do have these back in stock. Our art glitter glue is back in stock. We also have the refills. I've also requested that we get more of the tips in stock so that you can have a few on hand. One of the things that we were noticing is when they get clogged, we'll just drop them in some warm water for a while and then clean them out so we can keep using them, but it's nice to have a backup.
Alright, so now we're gonna take our detail scissors and I'm gonna fold this piece in half. We're gonna be fringing along the folded edge.
Okay.
And I'm gonna fold this in half 1, 2 times and fringe through. You're gonna be fringing through these four layers.
And we're fringing on the side that is glued.
No, the folded
The folded
edge.
side, okay.
Yep.
And if there's any questions, feel free to just call them out.
How long is the strip outstretched?
It is 12 inches. About.
Plus or minus.
Yeah.
And off she goes.
Yes, I can help you fringe as soon as I fringed mine.
Fringe ninja. Should get you a badge.
Done.
I think we need to get our t-shirt.
I'll take a badge. I don't know if I'd wear
Oh,
a
I
t-shirt.
know,
I'll
I
wear
know.
a badge. If
You can make her an embroidered
needed.
That would
patch.
make
There
an
you go.
embroidered patch. Perfect.
It will be kind of like our little Girl Scout patches.
Yes.
That would be pretty cute, actually. We could do
Actually,
Yeah,
that's
we
such a good
really
idea.
should, like, have-
flower, like you've done the class. You can get your embroidery patch.
We're just brainstorming right here on camera. You guys want to toss some ideas in? Go
yeah,
for
well,
it.
it'll be like Girl Scout. We can make a sash. And you could collect them all.
The master class, you can get a little master class badge. A DIY embroider it yourself badge.
Yeah, you have to make
Yes,
it
you have
yourself,
to make it
obviously.
We don't have enough people here to do that for everyone.
See, I'm not going as fast. I'm really watching how thin I get it. Is it important that
It's,
you get it as fine as you want to?
I like it when it's really fine.
Okay. See if we can get
yeah.
a close up of how fine that is for people.
Yeah, here, let me finish this one and I'll.
And we do have a question from Beatrice. Can you please confirm which side you're fringing?
I'm fringing on the folded edge.
So not the glue side.
Not the glued edge. And so you're fringing just down to just above where you glued, essentially.
Through the hot dog bun.
Yes.
I am going so slow compared to you. It's hilarious.
All right, so I'll show you
Yeah.
guys how fine this is fringed. Let me unfold it. And you do want to unfold these as soon as you're done fringing, just in case any of your glue seeped up there, because you don't want it to end up being glued together. So there's the fine fringe. And it's not like perfectly even fringe. It's just like, I don't know.
Yeah, mine's sticking together, so this is good. I'm taking it apart.
Yeah, so you want to unfold it as soon as you're done fringing.
Or else it will be stuck
Or
forever.
you will, yeah, it'll be stuck together if you've got any glue. Just set those to the side. Wait, did you? No.
I didn't do that one yet. Thank you.
Yeah. This one, so I was saying, a lot of times I'll prep some fringing if there's a lot of fringing to do in a project beforehand. But with this, you can't really, you don't want to fringe it and then let it dry, because this glue is going to make the paper really stiff. So when you go to wrap it around the flower, it's just not going to lay as nicely.
Makes sense. So do this right when you're making it.
Yeah, so
Don't
you
do
kind of
this
want to
ahead of time.
make, you could make a bunch of flower centers at the same time and set them aside.
How
you're
long do you
making a
think
lot.
you would have on the glue before it dries hard?
I'd say you have a good like hour or so
Okay.
before it like fully sets and is starts getting hard to work with. It also depends how much glue you use as well. The more glue you use, the stiffer it'll end up being.
And another reason why you might want to do dots, because at least you have that
Yeah.
flexibility. Yeah.
Good idea. The fresh glue bottle definitely made it easy to get that really thin line. Thank you so much.
This would also be a good
Cut into
place,
my thumb a little
especially
bit.
for beginners, people who are beginner fringers, to go ahead and use the little clips that we have
Yeah.
to hold everything together. Because I noticed I started on my loose end and it was kind of fraying
Oh
out
yeah.
and harder to hold together.
Oh yeah, I guess I could have said that. I always start fringing on the folded edge.
That's a good. See, I did it the wrong way.
Yeah, because it kind of keeps everything together. So after you've done that, make sure you unfold them and just go ahead and set them aside.
Okay.
And then we will actually, you know what? No, I'm gonna change my mind real quick. We're gonna go ahead and take our thick stem, and we're gonna apply these to that first, so they have a little bit of time to dry before we continue applying more layers.
Okay.
I think that'll
Keep
help.
going. You don't need to wait for
Oh,
me.
there's my. I was looking for my glue.
Yeah.
And we're going to be working on the pointy side.
Yes, we're gonna work on the pointed end. And so we're gonna go ahead and apply glue starting at one end of the fringe, just to the base, right where you applied the glue when you folded it. And I'm just gonna apply glue halfway down so that I'm not getting it all over the place. I'm gonna start right at the tip. And just start rolling it around, and we're gonna keep this it completely even at the same height the whole time we're wrapping. So you're just gonna be watching the bottom edge and just keeping it all level.
We want this baby to be flat.
Yes, the goal is to have the bottom of this flower flat before we add the petals.
And I can already see, even with my thin stream of glue, it's feeling a little soggy, so
Yes.
definitely be careful with that glue.
Yeah. I'm kind of dotting it for this round.
Yeah, you could totally just do little dots of glue for this, so you don't get too much, because it doesn't need glue necessarily on. Could do like a dash of glue.
Yeah, and this glue is so strong when it dries, so it will not fall apart. Another thing too, I think in the past, maybe a few years ago, maybe a year ago, we would have used hot glue for this. No more.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
You get so much
More
more
control. Yeah.
control and just like detail. It's just not as chunky.
Yeah. That hot glue would
Glue.
thicken this up a lot.
Yes. And it just would, it wouldn't be as dense looking. Like the center is going to be extremely dense. And you wouldn't get that with hot glue because it would space it out more.
Mm-hmm.
So then we're gonna go ahead and apply the second round of,
Same thing.
yep, same exact thing. Just
Keep on going.
start right about where you ended with that first piece.
Did I hear a question over there, Anna?
No, not a question.
Okay. That was her stomach growling. No, I'm kidding.
Possible.
Oh, this is so much fun. And this is our fourth flower this month. For those of you who took
Oh,
the
yes.
spring summit, and if you didn't, you can go do that.
And more flowers to add
Yep.
to your bouquet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been a flower making month for me, who doesn't normally make so many flowers.
The thing I'm noticing about the glue
Mm-hmm.
and the soft, being really careful, is it does make my head a little wobbly
Yes.
when it gets too.
So you're gonna want to be, just really careful as you're adding all this. We are gonna
Mhm.
use hot glue at the end
Okay.
after we've applied all of the center bits to hold everything together and make it much more stable. So
Are you compacting it as you lay it down, the center, or are you just
I'm not
kind of-
touching it at all. I'm just wrapping it
Okay.
pretty tight.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
I don't think I'm wrapping mine tight enough, and that might be why it's a little bit floppy.
yeah.
We have a question for you, Megan.
Yes.
It's regarding the SVG file. Rebecca is saying she's getting a gold triangle in Cricut that the SVG file is incompatible.
I feel like Cricut might be having some issues because then I feel
They're
like
having
this
a
came
bad
up.
day.
They're having a bad day. I just used this file yesterday to cut all of this, so I know that it's working.
Yeah.
Like I uploaded the file from the website and made sure it was working yesterday. I would maybe suggest restarting your browser, deleting the download that you have downloaded currently, and just re-downloading it and try uploading the new file.
Making sure Cricut's updated.
Yeah,
Your
making
design
sure
space.
your design
Yeah.
space is updated as well.
I know they just did an update.
Yeah, it's always a bummer when Cricut has issues because it's not something we can necessarily
Yeah.
do much about.
Yeah, they seem to have issues.
Whenever they do updates, I feel like we run into problems, and
Yeah.
they do a lot of updates.
They do fix it up fast, though.
Yeah.
So.
All right, so once you're done with the center, you're just gonna set it aside to let that glue dry. And we're gonna move on to our stamen. I believe this is stamen B. Yep, stamen B. And so you would have this in either extra fine chiffon or the nectarine, or you would be coloring it whatever color you like. And we're gonna go ahead and stretch that fully. And then we're gonna take the stamen C, I believe. Yes. And in this we have it in linen, and you're gonna stretch that fully. And then you're actually gonna line it up with your stamen B, and you're gonna go ahead and cut your stamen B to the same length. Since we're using heavy, it stretches more than the extra fine, so you're gonna have just a little bit extra that you can go ahead and cut off. All right. And then we're gonna go ahead and fold your thicker stamen in half, just like you did that first one. Alright, and you're gonna wanna really crease that bottom fold. Since this is the heavy, it's a little, doesn't fold as nicely as the extra fine does when you go against the grain. And then you're gonna go ahead and open it back up. Okay. And I'm gonna flip this over so that my fold is facing, so it's folding down. outward, so I'm looking down at the fold. And I'm going to apply glue to the stamen C, and I'm just going to apply glue to the bottom edge of that.
I feel like I'm going to watch you finish before I start doing this.
So I noticed that I have both extra fine,
Mhm.
and this one stretched out longer. The reason is because it's thinner,
Oh.
so there's not as much pressure, and you can stretch it
A little
longer.
further.
So in this case,
You would just cut
it to
yeah,
match.
just
Yep.
cut whatever.
Okay.
One is longer to match the shorter one.
okay, I can do that. Just in case somebody gets confused with that.
Yeah.
If you're doing extra fine.
And then I'm gonna apply another line of glue right at the center of this one. So just the top edge of this piece is not going to have glue on it. And use a very small amount, just little dots. And I'm gonna go ahead and take this thicker stamen and glue it so that the top edge of the white stamen is just showing. So I'll show this to you a bit closer as soon as I'm.
It's all about the details.
So we have a question and then we have a comment that made me laugh. So I'm going to start with a comment. Did anyone try to cut the fringes as fast as Megan? Just tried it. It's like riding a motorbike without a helmet, 200 kilometers per hour.
Oh yeah, watch
Very
out.
scary.
you might cut into your finger when you're practicing. I won't lie, I've definitely cut into my thumb a couple of times.
Especially with these sharp scissors,
Yeah.
you could do some damage.
So here, I'm going to show a close-up of this, just how little of the white is showing at the top there.
Okay.
This is too much.
There you go. It's fine.
And
You can, if you do too much, you could always
it
go
off.
and trim it off.
Yep.
This is maybe slightly too much, but also fine.
Yes. So now you're going to flip it over so that you see the whole white strip, and we're going to go ahead and apply glue. I'm actually going to apply glue to the yellow side, so the stamen B side, trying to keep them straight. And this is so that you don't apply glue too high.
Sorry.
So you can apply the glue all the way up to that
All right.
edge there.
We do have a question from Donna. If using chiffon, when do you color it?
I would color it before you do any gluing or even any stretching. Like, as soon as you cut it, go ahead and color it.
So if you color it before you stretch it, it would get, because you're using the extra fine.
Yeah, you're using
Okay.
extra fine, so just go ahead and color it right
Am I
after you
supposed to
cut
color
it. No, you don't
Okay.
have to color yours.
Could you
This is
color
just
it
if
with-
like they don't want,
Right, they don't have that
if
color.
they don't have this color.
Could you color it with pan pastel?
You could, but then you'd have pan pastel all over your hands by the time you were done. I think.
Because there's a lot of work.
Yeah, just because you're touching it so much. And I don't know how well fixative works.
Yeah. And how like
if it
stiff
would,
it would be.
yeah. So I'd say marker is definitely your best bet. So once you apply glue, you're just gonna fold it over along that fold line that you already created.
Which I forgot to do,
Uh-oh.
but that's okay.
You can
because
still do it. It just makes
I
it a
have
little
an
harder.
Yeah, I have the extra fine, so it's easy.
Yeah.
And Emily's done. You can start fringing.
Or you can do your next piece because there's two.
Oh, okay.
So
And we
go
would have
ahead
had some of this done ahead of time, but
and- Yeah, especially with this piece with all the
The glue.
glue, it would just.
yeah, it would just get too hard. Besides, you guys can do a little make along with this.
Yep.
I'm fringing slow today, so you can fringe with
Mm-hmm.
me.
Megan has to do some of my fringing because my wrist doesn't like scissors.
The wounds of a hairstylist.
All right, so yeah, after you've completed that bit, you can go ahead and fold it in half twice.
Okay. And start on the folded edge when you fringe.
And you can start on the folded edge when you fringe.
And are you doing it up this time?
Hmm?
You're fringing this
So
side?
now this time you're gonna fringe the not folded side, so the side that white is sticking up.
Okay.
Here, I'll fringe your pieces and you can put my second piece together.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm finding that going faster doesn't necessarily make it worse. It still looks pretty good. So
Oh yeah, no,
I don't know why I was
doesn't.
being too careful.
Yeah, no, you can go fast. It doesn't matter if your fringe pieces are evenly sized or anything. Especially with this piece, we're gonna kind of roll the fringed pieces. So if they're thicker, you really won't notice as much with this one.
Okay, so you told me to turn it over. Why did I turn it over?
Just because you're gonna like glue it with this side. You want to make sure you're gluing
Oh, I see.
so that it's gonna fold around it.
That makes sense.
Otherwise, you'd be folding it against the fold.
Or holding this strip over to.
Yeah,
That
which-
makes sense. This is better. Since you've done it so many times.
Details. And of course, Megan will have all of this in a written
Yes,
or photo.
in the photo tutorial.
So
Lay that out.
good time for questions, people, if you have any.
Really is.
Makers, I guess.
I'm curious how many people are actually making along with this video. I haven't. That's my question.
Yeah, there we go.
How many
Answer.
people actually try and make along with these? Because I know we have so many things prepped. Otherwise, we'd be sitting here for hours.
Yeah.
We didn't have stuff cut out.
Did you time yourself to see how long this flower took you?
I didn't. No.
Okay.
I will say if you're cutting it out on the Cricut, it takes at least 30 minutes just to cut out the petals on the Cricut.
Yeah, it's a long one.
Just because there's, I think it's the
Oh, the
smaller
little
petal
tiny-
pieces
yeah.
just take a long time to cut, but
Well, I always try to
it's
do
worth
something
it.
else.
Yeah, there's always other things. You can easily cut out these strips by hand, and you could work on those while the petals are cutting out if you're using a machine.
Any answers, Anna?
We have 2 people that said that they are.
All right.
And then somebody said, no, I don't make a long. I learned my lesson.
Yeah. I find that I make mistakes.
Well, it's nice when you can pause the video.
Yes.
I will have.
Oh my goodness, I realized I can't sit on these stools.
They're
They
very,
make like my feet fall asleep.
they're definitely very uncomfortable stools.
Yeah, we're working on getting some.
I think
New
normally I
stools
would
for you
sit in one
guys.
of those
So,
chairs.
Megan, I have a question from Kathy. I'm still on the first green part, and I'm finding that it's not super flat. How much does that matter?
It's not super flat.
Like on the bottom
On
here?
the bottom. It doesn't matter that much. I mean,
Can
you want
kind
to
of
keep
press
it, yeah, keep it as flat as you can, but it's not that important. Like, your flower will still look good even if it's not flat.
Yeah, and I would say
Mine's not perfect.
I would say maybe work on the top being flat, not worrying
Yeah.
so much about the bottom.
Yes.
If you had to pick one or the other. This is so much fun.
These look beautiful. I love that little white detail on these little strips. That's so pretty.
Yes.
all about
I
detail.
love this trick. I feel like I've done this on
That's
quite a few
pretty
flowers.
Cool.
Yeah, you have.
It always blows me away the patterns that you come up with.
After making, I don't even know how many flowers I've made at this point.
We should
probably
count.
go back and
Yeah.
count.
You can get a badge.
I feel, yeah, love a batch. I feel like, I mean, I've said this a few times and I'll say it again. You know, we keep improving as well.
Yeah.
You know, you obviously, and then I have
You
to
as
keep
well.
up with
You
you.
just did.
So our
Spring
flowers keep
Summit.
getting better. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've done this daisy. It's in the book, but this is superior version. Like
I
this
didn't
is-
even look at the book,
I
Daisy.
don't
I was
either.
like, I'm not gonna go back and look at it because then
Nope.
I don't know. I want to create something new, and if I
And also, we've just had so much more experience now. Yeah.
Makes sense.
And also new materials, you know, with the glitter glue and some of the other things we use.
So we have a question here. What kind of training does Megan have to do this job?
what kind of training? Let's see. I went to school for. I have a degree in graphic design, but I focused on fine art as well on the side.
So-
I didn't do anything like this in school.
Well, but here's
But
the
I did work. My internship in school was working with a lady that did window displays and party decor, and it was all very handmade things. And I did actually work with some crepe paper then, and had used a cutting machine. And
So
whatnot,
Krista
so-
also has a graphic design degree.
Yeah.
And I have a graphic design degree. Emily is an artist, and she learned a lot from me, and also a crafter herself. So I don't know. I think honestly, when it comes to designing crafts like this, it's about learning how to solve.
Yeah,
Like,
problem solving.
Problem
is a
solving.
big.
Yeah. And when you have something you're trying to figure out, how do I make it look like this? You know, having that skill more than anything.
And then at this point, it's just my qualifications would just be working here for however long I've been here for
Right.
now,
And-
because I've learned way more.
Well, we learn
since
together,
working
you
here,
know.
yeah.
We are always learning. All right. Are you going to go
Yeah.
ahead and glue those on now?
I'm gonna French her last piece.
Okay.
As soon as
Your
she's
piece. This
done
is
here.
yours.
Or my piece.
I saved the best
Okay,
one
here.
for last. This one's
There
my
you go.
finest
Your
work.
finest.
Might need an
Wait,
extra
I
press.
was like, wait a sec.
Sorry.
I can't even look away. I
Yeah,
do
focus
not
on your fringing.
I don't
Don't
wanna
cut your
see-
fingers.
Yeah, don't cut your thumb.
Thank you for fringing that for me.
You're
Megan.
welcome.
Can you guys hear the music? I think we forgot to turn it off next
think
to us.
that's our neighbors this
Oh, is it our
Oh,
neighbors?
Yeah, I was gonna say
Okay.
there's a girl one in there right as I was.
We have new neighbors.
We do.
Your fringe is so delicate.
I'm going too slow. I
So
probably could
perfect.
speed up. I've been working on my own refinement, you know. That's a word that I used for the spring summit, was just teaching ourselves to refine every time we do a new flower, and I do the same.
It's all in the details.
All in the detail.
Especially for flowers like this.
And I clearly got too much glue on. So
Uh-oh.
that one's sticking a bit, but it will be fine.
All right. So once you're done fringing, you're gonna go ahead and take one of these pieces and your curling tool. And we're gonna go ahead and curl these inward on only half. So we're gonna go only curl halfway.
Okay.
Oh shoot, sorry, stop, don't curl.
Oh,
You're gonna
okay.
roll these between your fingers first.
Okay. This is because you haven't made this
It's
for a
like,
while.
yeah, I went over and wrote the tutorial this morning. I always do it the morning before. I'll go
So
through
you
and
can
write
remember,
it so that
yeah.
I remember.
I feel like mine are not rolling very well.
Any pro tips for this?
Flick your finger.
Yep, I know. I just get a little bit,
Just
not
a
too
little.
much. Yep,
And you don't have to roll them
a lot.
a lot. This is just to make them so they're not so uniform.
And so they point more than our square.
Yeah.
And the little tinies on the end will roll better because there's only one layer. Which is
What?
awesome. Yeah. The little white bits will roll a little
Oh,
easier.
gotcha. All right. All right.
Okay, okay. We're laughing because I'm trying to motion to Anna to ask the neighbors to turn the music down a little bit.
Can you guys even hear it?
I was going to
may
say,
not.
You
can
might not
even
even be
hear
able
it?
to hear it.
Yeah, we just want to make sure we have a nice clear video for you. Because I have a feeling this one people are going to watch. Are they okay with the sound? We asked them to tell us.
My left foot is falling asleep.
Oh no. Shake it around.
I know.
Okay, got all those done.
Perfect.
Next
and
one.
then, yeah, once you've rolled them, then you're going to go ahead and curl just half
Okay.
of one side of these.
Just half.
Just
the
half.
top half.
Well, no, just half of the strand.
Okay.
Half lengthwise.
Yes. And then you're going to apply glue to that half. That's going to be where you start rolling. So I'm just going to apply. Uh-oh, I didn't stick my
Yes.
needle in there.
Always remember, don't do what we do, do what we say. And remember to put your needle back in your glue.
Yeah.
Right, Emily?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so you're gonna start gluing, wrapping this around with that curled edge, and so you're gonna line up the base. This is why I say to keep it flat, because we're gonna keep lining up with the bottom.
Okay.
And if it's not flat, when you get to this piece, you might not be lining up with the bottom. You're gonna have to pay attention to that white top curling over the green. So
you're
you may
starting
have to move it up a little bit more.
You're starting with your curled side.
Yes, so with the
Okay.
curled side, so it's going to be curling in kind of around that green center.
All right. Thank you, Anna. We'll go take him some cookies later, neighbors.
I'm going to go ahead and apply more glue.
Wow, I wasn't able to get a
Continue
ton of curl out
wrapping.
of this.
I think you just grabbed the wrong piece.
I think you're right.
You're like,
I
wait
grabbed-
a second.
I grabbed the one I didn't curl. Lots of detail here, man.
So when we get to that half point,
You just keep.
just curl it again.
Nope, don't curl it.
Don't
just
curl
keep
it.
wrapping.
Okay.
So the idea is half of it's curled, half of it's not, so that you get some variation.
Yeah, so you're just going to get that curl just around, and then the rest it's just going to be variation. You'll see it a little bit more because it's not curled. It'll take up a little bit more space. You can kind of even fluff out the bits that aren't curled. And then you're going to go ahead and just wrap that second piece around without curling it at all.
Without curling it, okay.
Yep, we're only curling the first piece.
Okay. The little white tips are just adorable.
They're your pollen, kind of? I
Sure.
don't know.
I don't know. Do Gerber daisies have pollen? Maybe. I'll have to go look at them next time.
Well, I think it's the green center that's actually like
The
where the
pollen.
pollen is. And this part you can use a little bit more. You don't have to be worried as worried about using too much glue because if you're using the heavy, I should specify that. If you're using the heavy crepe paper.
Okay. Yeah, for me, I think less is better.
And you can always adjust and make your bottom flat after you've glued everything on because your glue will still be wet. And it is going to be very rickety, kind of wobbly on
Right.
that top there.
Uh-huh.
Just be really careful not to pull it off. and we will secure it better as soon as we add our next piece. So once you finish wrapping those, you're going to grab your small petal sets here, and we're using double-sided. So at this point, you're going to choose what color you want your flower to be. For the petals, so if I chose this lighter pink side, I would make my petals be my large petals on the outside be the darker pink side, just so you have some variation. Yeah, so I'm gonna use, I think I'm gonna make this one the darker pink, so I'm gonna show the light pink side. And I'm gonna take the curling tool and I'm gonna curl these just very slightly out. So you're gonna curl down. How do I say this?
Curl down with the side
Yeah,
up.
so the side you wanna see, you're gonna be holding up and you'll curl that side down. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I can see the rotary tool barely left us.
Yes, you have to be very gentle with these pieces if you cut them on the Cricut. They're just hanging on.
And you said that you use the denim setting for cutting double-sided?
I do, yeah.
Pretty smart.
Yeah, we are finding, though, just a reminder that their new crepe setting works really well on the extra fine.
Yes, works good on the extra fine, but
But
yeah,
not on
still
the- yeah.
still using the denim setting for the heavy and the double-sided. Alright, I'm going to apply glue to just that base edge, and I'm going to kind of do just like a squiggly line of glue to cover that whole base.
I'm laughing because I'm so far behind.
Hardly.
You're fine.
One at a
And then-
time, obviously.
Yes. And then with this, same thing, you're gonna line the base up. So we're still keeping the bottom of that
So
flower.
Megan, we have a question from Tammy. Is it
Yes.
okay if some of my petals are falling off the strip?
So you have to be very gentle with these. We noticed the rotary blade cuts into them a little more than you would like. If only a couple petals have fallen off, I wouldn't worry about it. You're not going to notice.
My tip for this,
Mhm.
too, is not to pull.
Yeah,
You want to roll your thumb.
them. Yeah,
So roll your thumb over, and that will keep it from tearing.
yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, it definitely looks like they overlap quite a bit. So I feel like if a couple are missing, it won't be too big of a deal.
Yeah. And you're going to want to try and make them so they don't evenly overlap. Is that?
Yeah, they shouldn't. But I think it totally depends. If for some reason your center is just the perfect size, they might
Mhm.
line up
Mine do for a minute.
perfectly. But
Yeah.
we're going to be putting 2 layers of these on, so they definitely shouldn't end up lining up too much.
So I don't know if this is an extra fine crepe paper thing,
Mhm.
but my center is very splayed.
Oh, that's probably because you're putting pressure as you're wrapping on the center.
It could be. My green
Um,
ones, I didn't put enough pressure and it felt really wobbly. So maybe I put too much. But we'll see. We'll just
I
keep
mean,
going.
it's
Yep.
not that big of a deal. It
Okay.
really isn't.
I feel like I'm in
Um,
between. Like I have almost too much space, like in the gaps. Like
Okay.
I wound it very lightly.
Oh, that's again fine. We're gonna
Mm-hmm.
cover it with like hot glue at the bottom to just like really hold everything in place as soon as we get this last one wrapped on.
gonna hurry through so I can get this hot glued.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's feeling really soft. Okay. Since mine's so wide, I'm going to turn it upside down and see if I can get it a bit straighter.
I mean, if it's angling in like at the bottom a little bit, it doesn't matter.
Right.
It's more about what the top looks like.
It's also
obviously with
trying
the
to
flower.
get everything. Yeah, it looks pretty. It's just trying to get all this on. So maybe if I squeeze it a bit, I can start more of a tube. That makes sense.
Yours will just be a baby Gerber daisy.
Okay, there we go. Yeah,
Yes.
okay, this is working now.
It's definitely like a dinner plate on the bottom there. It's very, very wide and flat.
Which, if you look at the bottom of Gerber daisies,
It's
Yeah,
very wide
that
and
is
flat.
what they look like.
Uh-huh. And it is interesting, you can, when you look at the top with those white pieces and that nectarine piece, that nectarine is barely visible. So I do feel like since we did run out of stock on that, I don't think it will make too big of a difference with how your flower looks in the end.
All right, so once you've finished wrapping that last piece, Leah, could I have you hand me the hot glue
Sure.
gun? Kind of. I know it's really awkward with where. Sorry.
No worries at all.
We're going to apply glue just to the entire
There we go.
base. Here, could I get?
Yes,
Let's
you
do
can.
that. There we go. I'm just gonna like cake on the glue.
A solid layer.
Just, yeah. And I'm actually gonna make it so that it's flat, like a solid flat layer of glue. Because we're gonna be applying like our sepals onto this, so there you go.
And then this flower is basically indestructible.
Yep.
And with this big of a flower, it kind of needs to be.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna need another glue stick.
I will pop up and grab one.
I was like, I can grab one. It's easier for me to get off this
Okay, that's true.
chair. Oh.
They should be on the top, right there.
So Megan, we have a question from Virginia.
Yes.
Where do you start the second layer? Does it overlap the first
The second layer.
of the fringe?
I
I
kind of
think?
started mine at
Kind of. I mean, it doesn't really matter. The second layer of this.
Oh, I just started it where
The last
the
one, yeah.
first one ended. Yeah. Unless they're perfectly lined up, then you might want to start a little. overlap
I
it a
can't
little
even.
bit. Yeah.
I'm so focused on making the bottom even that I'm not even looking
Yeah.
at the top. Whoops.
So we're gonna have to sit here for a little bit and let this glue dry.
Okay.
So it's good timing.
Yeah.
Questions. Great time for questions
Or any good answers for Mother's Day?
and answers.
Yes, lots of sweet messages on favorite Mother's Day crafts. Someone actually mentioned that she will make a few extra cards and leave at church for those that forgot to make a card.
That's
Oh,
cute.
It's very nice. I like to bend while your glue is drying. I like to bend my stem and I just hang it off the side of my table upside down.
and put a book or something.
Yeah,
on.
and put just something on the end so you can set that to the side. There you go. And then we can move on to our petals real quick. So you're gonna go ahead and take your petals and you're going to fold them in half lengthwise with the grain, and you're gonna fold in half with the side that you want your flower to be showing. So I'm doing dark pink, so my dark pink is showing, and you're just gonna go ahead and fold each petal down the middle and crease it, and then you can unfold it. And once you've done that, you can go ahead and take your curling tool and actually no, I lied. Kidding. Don't take your curling tool. I always just
That's okay.
think in. We're gonna use our curling tool after we've attached all of our petals.
And this is
Pin
a lot of
back and
petals.
glue.
How many petals is this?
Pin back and glue.
Oh.
Just a reminder, everybody, pin back and glue.
Right.
Pin back in the glue.
And to apply your petals, you could actually use hot glue or white glue. I
Okay.
don't think it matters that much with these.
Okay.
How many petals do we have? There are 26 of the medium size and 30 of the large size.
All right.
So we're gonna start applying the medium ones around our flower first as soon as our glue is dried. And we're gonna do 2 rounds of 13 petals each
Okay.
for our medium petals. So I'm just gonna split my medium petals into groups of 13 real quick so that I know I have the right amount.
And before you do that, can you please hold it up so we can see the folds?
12,
I'll have you-
13. Okay. Yes. So it's just folded in half this way, and then I'm unfolding it so you just see the fold line in each of your petals. It's just a little detail.
And you mentioned that the fold's going to be down. So
Yeah, you're
whichever
following.
side,
It's with the grain line.
whichever side you want showing, you'll be having on the outside,
Yep.
not the inside.
Yeah. So it's folded down the top of the petal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Can I start while my glue's still tacky?
13. I would wait till it doesn't stick to your finger,
Okay.
which I doubt is yet.
Nope.
I was like, mine is just
Still
still
sticky.
tacky, but isn't sticking to my finger.
That's really beautiful, the whole glassy.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's nice.
All right, so I'm gonna use white glue since Leah, you're the only one with a hot glue gun over there, so
That's
you can use
true.
hot glue if you want.
Okay. We'll see.
So we're gonna start applying our medium petals just evenly around, and so I'm just gonna put a little glue on the end. I actually, when I did this, I used white glue, and I just put a little puddle of it,
Mm-hmm.
and then was dipping the base of my each petal into my glue puddle, just like this, and then you can quickly attach. And I'm just
Okay.
lining up the base of my petal with the base of my, everything's just lined up, so
Okay.
it's just
That
super
makes
even.
sense.
And
And the fold is facing out.
yep, the fold is facing up, out.
So when you say fold facing, meaning the point is
The
going
point of the
towards.
fold is facing up. I'm confusing myself.
Because it looks like
But
it's
yes.
okay.
So if you're looking at
If you're looking at the top of the flower,
The point of the fold faces the other petals. How's that?
I don't know what you're saying.
So the point of the fold.
what?
So the point of the fold is facing this other
Just like
petals.
the fold is facing up, like you're looking at the fold.
And you're
Yeah,
just
if you
setting
turn it
these
over,
side by
creeps.
side, or
Sure.
are you?
Yeah, so as you're, let's, moving on. When you're applying the petals, you're just, the edges should just touch.
Okay.
And then 13 of them should line up pretty perfectly around the entire flower.
And I like the white glue because you can kind of.
You can kind of, you'll be able to move it a little bit.
I like the white
if
glue.
it's
I'm sold.
not. Yeah.
I am sold.
I also love it for our frosted paper
because
because it holds so much. I know it's going to hold when it dries versus the hot glue. I'm
pop.
never sure if it's going to pop off or not.
So I figured out that too. Yesterday I made some graduation hats, some little cupcake toppers out of the frosted paper, and I used this glue.
Mm-hmm.
They held beautifully.
Yeah, they don't come apart. Once it's dry,
It's done.
like, and you really only have to hold it for like
Yeah.
20 seconds, and then it's tacky enough.
So
On
whatever
paper.
whatever member introduced us to this glue.
Yeah, thank you.
We love
Thank
you.
you, thank you. We love you. Yes. And if you don't have it yet, I highly suggest you order yourself.
I've been using it on my embroidery projects just to get down any loose threads, and
Yeah, 'cause
just
it
like
dries
a
clear,
tiny
so-
dab, and it's so useful.
So this should go pretty fast. I had to get myself some more glue, but especially if you puddle and dip, it could go really
Yes,
fast.
yeah, the puddles go on quick.
Are you on your second layer yet?
Nope.
Okay.
I have 3 more petals left.
Same.
And my last petal's going to overlap just a tiny bit, but that's okay. I'm just going to let it overlap and just line it up with that one, and then I'm going to start with my second layer. And with the second layer, you're going to place it between 2 petals, but slightly off-centered. Don't place it like directly in the middle.
Yeah.
Just off a little bit to one side.
That way we have room for the ones coming behind.
Yeah.
The second
Running
row
out
is
of glue.
slightly confusing.
It is. I lose my place a lot when I'm working on my second row, I feel like. But that's why you group your petals into how many, so that at least you know how many you have left, or that you've used the right amount.
Oops. Any good answers for Mother's Day, Anna?
Yes, lots of fun ones, but I do want to give everybody a little reminder. Today's the last chance to earn $5 extra in craft cash with the purchase of our new Frosted Paper Fern mini wreath kit. So once you've purchased the kit, we'll add $5 in craft cash to your felt paper scissors account.
And Anna and I were using those mini wreaths this morning for a photo shoot where we we use them as candle wraps to put large candles inside of.
yeah.
Cute.
Really cute. A great party decor idea.
Oops. I grabbed a big one.
This is very satisfying.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, I grabbed a big one too. You can kind of see it. All right.
It's definitely meditative. Kind of fall into the pattern.
Alright, so I have finished with my small petals, and this is what it looks like so far. So don't worry, we're gonna curl these petals out once we're done.
Yeah, once they dry a little
Yeah, once they dry. And so now we're gonna just keep going with our large petals. Same exact thing. Add some more glue.
bit. Okay.
It's kind of fun working with your flower upside down because it's like a surprise when you
Right?
finally
Yeah.
go to look at it.
So you're doing the same lining where you
Yeah,
center a little off to
yeah.
the side. Okay.
So now I'm really just focusing on, I'm starting where there's like a pretty big gap, it
Okay.
looks like, and then
Uh-huh.
just, again, evenly, I'm lining up the edges with one another. And so with this one, there'll be 15 petals per round, because now that you've added more petals fit
It's getting a bit
around.
bigger.
Yeah, it's getting bigger, so more petals should fit.
Yep.
Totally losing my place.
It probably doesn't really
It
matter at this
doesn't.
point. Yeah.
At least it's easy to find it on the big petals.
It is.
'Cause you
Once
can
you
look
start,
at the
yeah.
tips. Yeah. I love designing arrangements with these with these flowers too, because they take up so much space in the bouquet, and they're also beautiful as a single, just one single flower.
Just one big flower.
So cute. Gerber daisies were always my favorite when I was a kid. I liked all the colors.
Yeah.
So we did have somebody asking us how we pronounce it. She's heard some people call it Gerbera and other people call it Gerber.
Or Gerbera, Gerbera,
Gerbera.
I call it. Yeah.
I don't know. I say Gerber daisy. Yeah. I don't add the A.
You say
at the
Gerber?
end. Yeah.
Gerbera.
Gerbera.
Baby.
I don't even know how I say it. I probably say it always.
It's like the peony.
Somebody
or
look
peony.
it up and tell us what's correct.
Yes. Thank you. I just noticed I flipped a petal, so easy enough to take that off and go the other direction.
My fingers are getting all gluey.
Mm-hmm. And when you go to start your final round, just really focus on filling in the gaps. Any like larger gaps you're seeing.
How many petals did you say? What's our total
There
count?
should be 15 in each round.
No, total.
Oh, total?
Yeah.
30 plus 26. 56.
So not quite as many as the ranunculus.
No.
Not anywhere near 90 something.
I'm on my last round. I'm just super concentrating here. So
I know.
if you guys have any questions, now is a great time. We're rounding to the end here.
We are. Nah.
And I highly encourage any of you who have not taken the frosted paper master class yet to take it. It's a lot of fun. It's I think it's good to, even if you're really into crepe paper flowers, to try frosted paper flowers. I think there's some tips and tricks that overlap really nicely.
Mm-hmm.
And also we sometimes mix them in bouquets, or we mix a frosted into one of our crepe paper flowers. We'll kind of do a combo.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of
We've
fun.
started doing that.
I would say it's a bit easier than the crepe paper master class because it's more about the cut shapes.
Mm-hmm. Some of the paper flowers are harder than crepe paper flowers, though.
There are a few, yeah, but not in this master class.
No.
It's a good beginner.
Yeah. And I think that's just because the frosted paper is just harder to get the shaping right without
Lots of curling.
damaging the
Yeah.
paper.
Well, I'm pretty pleased with the look of all of our
Right.
frosted paper flowers.
Check for
And I'm kind of looking to see.
gaps with my last few petals.
All right. Last two.
Nice.
So
So
fast.
there's my finished one, and we're gonna really let all of this glue dry before we go and curl these. So we're gonna add our sepals right now. And for that, I am actually just going to place some glue lightly around the base of my petals, just like one string of glue, line of glue, yeah.
Not to be confused with glue strings.
Yeah. And then just a little bit on the center. Oh, my tip is coming off. This is just so I can quickly apply my sepals. And you're just going to go ahead and the base of your sepal is just going to touch the stem. And then you're going to fold it up the petal. And you should have 15 sepals.
So same thing, just kind of overlapping enough to cover. Is that?
Yes,
How you're doing it?
yeah,
Okay.
you're just overlapping your sepals just enough to cover. You could use glue and just like glue each one on individually instead of covering if you want to.
Okay.
I just found this way was
A little
quicker.
faster.
You might need to add a little extra glue here and there though as you're doing this.
Yeah. And maybe have a couple on hand just in case you don't have enough.
Yes.
Make 'em too
Yeah,
tight.
just go ahead and cut a few extra out if you want to make sure you have enough. But I found 15 was pretty,
Seem to be plenty.
yeah, seemed to be plenty, but you never know. Your flower base could end up slightly larger than mine.
Is it important to make sure that the sepals wrap around the petals?
Yes.
Okay. So I might
Yes,
need
so
to add
I-
a little extra
I
glue.
applied glue
Okay.
right at the base of my petals so that they would wrap up.
Megan, we have a question. Will we be making any buds today?
No, there are not any buds with this flower.
Yeah, I don't think they come with buds.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen these flowers.
If you have a picture of a Gerber daisy bud, I'd love to see
Yeah.
it. I'm very curious.
Like, I don't even really know.
I don't think I've ever seen one before.
I mean, I feel like a lot of flower buds look very similar to one another, so if you'd like to add some buds in, you could probably take like our pattern for like our peony or I'm trying to think.
I don't know that
What
they would
else?
be round though.
Yeah.
I almost
know
feel
what
like
they
it
would- what shape
might
they
look
would be.
more like a chrysanthemum bud, where it's kind of, you know, the petals come in to a point.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm gonna have to research that. Yeah, I think that this seems to be enough sepals. I have a couple extra.
Mm-hmm.
That is my dog. That's my dog snoring.
I'm so scared.
Huh?
I'm so scared I'm gonna knock all the petals off.
Uh-oh.
So you need to, yeah, press them down.
I know, I'm just scared I'm gonna knock all my petals off.
Did you apply glue like
Mhm.
around? You did.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll just use my mouth. Our extra tool.
There you go. So yeah, once you've applied all your sepals, we're going to take some floral tape and we're actually going to thicken the stem with floral tape right at the base here because it is just a little too narrow,
Okay.
I thought. So I'm just going to take a nice long piece of floral tape.
You could also do this with crepe paper
You could
if
do
you
it with
wanted
crepe
to.
paper
Mhm.
also.
Or this is a great place to use that floral tape that you have extra.
Yeah, you could use whatever color you like here.
It won't show.
It's not gonna show because we're gonna wrap the stems, in which I didn't grab the crepe paper for, but I can go grab it real quick.
I can, well,
We're gonna thicken up
Right, I think this
stem.
question is for the team. What do you do with all the flowers and bouquets you make from the live videos?
ha ha ha.
We have a whole wall.
You know, I should probably.
Well, some of them are behind me.
Yeah, there's one right there. I should do a little behind the scenes for our social. Actually, earlier this week, I was over here sorting and going through all of the flowers and getting them kind of organized in color,
Yeah.
so that to get ready to film our arranging master class. So we try to save them as best we can and preserve them as best we can. But man, it takes a lot of room.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have a lot of flowers.
Yeah. And of course, you know, also when we do an upgrade of a flower, then we'll go ahead and donate the old ones and replace them with the new. I'm going to use a little bit more of
yeah.
this.
Grab that and.
Go ahead and do the leaf, and I'll grab this.
Okay, I was just gonna ask Anna to grab it since she's right there. Hey Anna, could you just grab some of the cypress paper from behind you?
All right, there it is. Yay.
Yep, so you've thickened your stem. I'm gonna go ahead and hang this off my table upside down while it's drying, and we're doing the leaves. So for the leaves, you'll just want 2 halves and a 24 gauge wire, which I had right here, and now I don't know where it sounds like it's going
Can
under
roll
my
under.
table. I only need one, that's okay. Thank you. Oh, that's Juniper. And I'm gonna go ahead and cut just one of our wires in half. Oh, nope.
In half?
Yes, so it's a 12-inch wire, so 6 inches.
Did you just use your scissors
Thank
to
you.
cut that wire?
No.
No.
Okay,
I
good.
used those. Thank you, Anna.
The scissors will cut the wire.
It will.
It just
It'll
dulls
also
it.
damage your scissors. Okay, so
Now I'm trying to decide if I'll just lay the glue down in this one because it's so long.
oh yeah, how I do my leaves is I apply glue, especially with this thin tip.
Yeah,
I think it's so easy. I actually will apply glue to this side, and then I'll also apply glue.
I'm really wobbly
the other
today.
side.
Oh my goodness. I think it's the table. It's the table's fault.
There you go.
My line is so wobbly.
Do you have
That's
too
okay.
much coffee this morning?
Maybe, yes. I've been trying
And
to.
so you're only going up
That
a little
happened
bit
to
up
me
the way.
on Monday. We were filming some project videos, and I drank too much coffee, and my hands were really wobbly.
And then the trick is really seal
Yep, just
those two pieces together.
seal them together, press them down.
And so about how much space did you leave above the wire?
Some inches, 2 inches. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
2 inches above, 1.5 inches below-ish. And then I'm just gonna clean up my top edge.
I did not even leave anything on the top. My wire goes all the way.
Oh,
back.
you want to make sure you leave a little bit of wire at the bottom. Sorry, I should have
Okay,
specified
that's
that.
all right. I have a little bit.
You just need a
Yeah.
very small amount. And we're gonna take a big stem wire and our curling tool. You can go ahead and shape your petals, or your leaf, with using a curling tool. And I'm gonna grab some floral tape.
I did get some emails this week about getting that crease out of the paper,
Mhm.
and I responded that you can just curl it right out.
Yeah, so
It
you can
really-
use your curling tool kind of just to scrape it out.
Those creases are really easy to get out. So if
Yeah.
you have any paper that's creased, it's definitely still useful.
I'm gonna take a thick stem wire, and you're just gonna apply 2 to 3 leaves to a thick
Okay.
stem wire. Oop. I'm gonna start at the top and apply 1. take Emily's and add it. And you can just use these leaves to kind of add into your arrangement with your flowers. With these flowers, I liked adding it to a stem just because our flowers are so big. I feel like it's a little easier to arrange. So you can cut this wire shorter, which is what I would probably end up doing. Or you can just fold it before you put it into your arrangement so you can still keep the stem. All right, let's see. We're gonna go ahead and take some cypress crepe. And we're gonna wrap our stems. So I'm just gonna cut some.
Have you seen how?
I don't like cutting the entire end off because
I know,
then
that's what
it
she
shortens
does.
my entire thing. I'll cut off like 12 inches of paper and then I'll
Just use strips.
kind of roll it back up and cut a few strips just so we each have some. And you can cover your flower stem with this. You can cover your leaf stem as well. But I always start with applying a little bit of glue to my strip just to get it started. And then I'm going to apply glue down my stem so that it really holds in place.
Did you want this on here too?
Yeah, you can go ahead and add that on the floral tape.
I'm starting to really love to wrap my stems with crepe paper. It's a lot of fun.
Well, it's nice and it covers the tackiness of the floral tape, and it just makes
just
it
fun because it's like the
yeah.
process is fun.
Yes.
Yeah,
I love that it just makes everything match and really
and that too. Yep.
go together.
Yes.
It's just
Satisfying.
barely
I know,
short
my
enough.
one piece was just the right
right.
length.
Oh, yours was? Mine, I think I wrapped it a little too tight and had just a tiny bit of stem.
Megan, two questions for you. The first one is from Jessica. Are we adding the extra floral tape to the whole stem?
No, I just added floral tape to the top third of the stem, I would say, just to thicken it up so it matched the rest of the stem. Since the stem wires come with a pointed, like a tapered end, you're just evening out the entire stem, so it's all the same.
One thing I do notice about wrapping with this color,
You see through it.
you see through it. So
you might want to do two
two.
layers with that lighter green.
Cute.
Yes. Which
And
I
then you
did
give
cut
it its
enough.
classic dippy little head.
Right, and then our second question. So you have any suggestions to add pan pastel to my white flower in the end?
Any suggestions on adding it?
Yes.
I mean, you could go in there.
Yeah,
Probably
you
at the
can
end.
totally go ahead and add it at the end I would use a paintbrush to kind of dust it in there. And just be careful that you're only getting it where you want it. Pan pastel has a tendency of
Yeah.
spreading a little bit.
So use a
Getting
smaller
places.
point brush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That you don't want it to be. It's a bit like glitter. Not quite as bad. I don't find it everywhere.
I guess I'll wrap mine one more time.
Yeah. I went ahead and
I didn't have that problem.
You know what? I wonder if you wrapped yours tighter, like you overlapped it more. Maybe I
didn't use as much glue. I can only see through it early where there's glue, and then once
That's-
the glue dries, I think it's fine.
it probably lightens up. Okay.
Yeah. So after you've wrapped your stem, hopefully your petals might be just dry enough. Normally I would let this hang upside down for 30
Yeah.
minutes at least before you curl them. But I'm gonna go in very gently and curl them just to show you guys. So you're not gonna pull, you're going to roll just very gently, especially since my petals are still drying. And I'm just taking all of the layers of petals at the same time and curling out. And going around. And once you've gotten most of that outer layer, you can kind of get in between and get that inner layer. And curl those out. And we're just very gently curling. We're not,
There's
very
no pulling.
subtle.
Yeah. And it flattens out that fold a bit when you do this.
Mine looks raggedy. I think I missed a little bit with my spacing.
I think I have a long one that accidentally got in the,
Got in the
place,
center.
which is easy enough to trim down.
Yeah, you could totally just trim it down. Sorry, I got a little funky with my spacing too. I wasn't checking it enough as I was gluing.
Well, and
But
yeah, you can.
again, flowers aren't perfect.
Nope, they aren't.
You can kind of bend them.
I am also going to go in and trim that little guy. That looks a bit funny.
Alright, so once you've
Looks beautiful.
curled those out, that's what your flower should look like. And now we have, I'm going to grab those ones. We should have a bunch of different colors now because we did kind of opposite, I think.
So we did one on each side.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys can see them quite in the camera like we can, but yeah. So we have the 3 packs, or the 3 different colors just flipped for each one.
Yeah.
Very subtle.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This
So
is it.
that's
Any more
it.
questions, you guys, about this?
Oh, you can also
beautiful-
cover your
Oh,
leaf,
yes.
the stem of your leaves as well, and
Yeah.
you just kind of add those in.
And I love that they're separate because
Yeah,
then they're
makes it
easier to arrange.
So easy to arrange. Yeah.
I'm going to set these down.
Yeah.
Anna, any questions? Because we are going to show off what we're making next month.
Yeah.
No, but we do have a winner for today's member make drawing. It is congratulations to Jobin Hume, and this year she is gifting this year's summit flowers as her Mother's Day gift.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love
It's
that.
a great idea.
All right. Are you guys ready to see what the June member make will be?
Yes.
Okay. There you go. Go. Well, I really meant May.
May, member May.
Yes, May member May.
We were
I don't
just
know why I'm
planning-
in June.
We were just planning June projects yesterday,
Right.
that's why.
Thank you, Brittany.
So we're going to be making these butterfly ranunculus, which are the white ones here. These are our normal ranunculus, which we did for a member make.
Right, and then we have
A
the
while
ones we
ago.
just made this last week.
Yes.
Which are another one. I just thought
Awesome.
they looked so pretty together.
They do. They really match. I love
Yeah.
these butterfly ranunculus. They're just wild.
Yeah.
They kind of remind me of like wild roses or something. I don't know.
That purple
without
stain
thorns.
is so pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
the
just
color palette.
fluffy and fun.
Beautiful.
And I don't think we can ever have enough ranunculus.
No, I love ranunculus. I don't love making these ones.
Really?
I don't. They're just not. If I had,
They're very small.
They are my least favorite flower to make. I will tell you
Oh,
that.
really? Okay.
Yes,
But not
they
this
are.
one, not this one.
No, the butterfly ranunculus was.
A lot of fun.
Yes.
I think these are totally worth it. Similar to the ones we made last week.
Those ones were, if you caught us on the spring summit, those ranunculus, those were
Redonkulous.
redonkulous.
But totally worth it.
Yeah.
So I feel the same about these burgundy ones.
They
Yeah.
do have some lovely impact.
Mm-hmm.
So that will be on the 20th of next month. If you'd
Yes.
like to join us for our next class.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll have these the bundles ready for you guys in our shop next week. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
And then before we wrap this up, we have 2 more questions that came in. What's the
Yep.
diameter of the completed flower?
Let us measure.
Let's find out.
It's like almost 6 inches.
Nope, you're there.
What-
You go.
If I,
Oh, 5
5
inches.
inches.
well, if I flatten it out, it's about 5.5. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And then Teresa is wondering, the back at the center of the flower, did you pull it tight?
back of the center of
So
the flower.
this-
So it's folded up, like along the petals. So it should lay even with your petals. So you're gonna have to glue the sepals to your petals and like bring them up a little bit.
So you can see how these are glued right along the edge here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that's what she meant. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I
also
think so.
really good to see the back
Yeah.
Mhm.
for you guys.
And it
to-
looks
There you go.
pretty too.
yeah, they look pretty. You can show these off on all angles and they're gorgeous. So.
And unlike real Gerber daisies, they don't just flop over in 3 days.
Yes. Yeah, real Gerber daisies.
Will just get sad and heavy.
Yeah, you have to, because back in the flower shop days, you have a little straw that you slide them
You
in.
put them
Uh-huh.
into.
Mhm.
Oh.
Like they're like tulips. They just
Mhm.
sag.
Right, so that keeps the heads up for Gerber daisies. Just a little tip there if you have not bought them lately. Okay, I think that's it today. Any more questions, Anna? We'll just make sure.
No,
Yeah,
that's
cover
it.
everything.
We look forward to seeing everybody on May 20th.
Yes.
I'll grab my coffee out of the way. All right, you guys, thanks for being here. What a great fun flower for our rainy April.
Yes. Very rainy.
So,
Snowy.
you know, we did get some
Rainy,
snow.
snowy April.
It just reminds me that sunshine
Yes.
is coming.
It's coming. Spring is on the way.
Okay, we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
May 20. Okay, bye-bye.